Good evening and welcome to another session in the Kingdom of Agick. This is a 5e D&D game and we are playing with, we're down a few characters tonight due to some real life issues, one including surgery and so forth, and one will be joining us shortly, so we're just going to jump right in. This is session 18 actually, and when last we saw our intrepid adventurers, they were in the pinnacle, the tower, the spire, let's call it, that they had found a note and map to. This is called Feathergale Spire, and they had found it on some cultist, and so they sought to infiltrate the tower or recon the tower and so forth. When they were trying to figure out a way to get in, they decided ultimately that the best thing to do would be to just go ahead and try to get across the bridge. There was a bell at the drawbridge. They rang the bell, and one of the guards greeted them, and then after a brief conversation, let them in. One of the things they've been doing is kind of reconnoitering the tower. So we left Farron and Kyra in the room that they had been assigned as a sleeping quarters. It seems to be some kind of like barracks or something like this. We had Matthias up on the pinnacle of the tower with the commander of this tower, one Thurl Moroska, who had invited the group to contribute or participate, I should say, in a manticore hunt, because they had spotted a manticore that has been making its nest somewhere in this valley, and so three of the members did just that and actually were able to defeat the manticore. The knights that they were riding out with, after being injured, returned to the spire. Matthias saw a few of them returning, and that's kind of where we pick things up again. I am going to bring everyone over to the, well, you might already be there. We're going to switch gears here and check out the map and go right to the top and check in with Matthias. So Matthias, I want to actually have you start off right off the bat and roll me a perception check. So you've been kind of hanging out up here since the beginning of this hunt. You watched Torm, Kalen, and Gitbot fly off. Oh, well, that's a great way to start. A nice critical roll there. So 24 perception is pretty astounding. So not only have you been kind of keeping your eye out for your party members and when they might return or what might have happened to them, you've been doing your best to very closely watch this gentleman who seems to be the commander of this spire. You've also been keeping your kind of like peripheral on the other two knights that are up on the top with you all. There's a couple things that you've noticed. First and foremost, you noticed that you heard a few moments ago, about a minute or two ago, you heard a horn blast. When that happened, the commander kind of seemed to get a little more giddy and excited, like smiling, and he's kind of had the odd comment or two in your direction, just really offhand, like they must be getting close and this sort of thing. And one of the things that you've noticed is that a short time after the horn blast, it was almost in a pretty rapid succession. Like one of the riders flew back, did like a circle around the pinnacle, and then swooped down, you imagine, down to the pens below. Then just a few seconds later, another one swooped around, did a circle around the spire, and did the same thing. Almost like they have this kind of like pattern that they fly when they return to the spire. You can just barely, because it's like just after twilight, dusk. It's it's almost dark, but luckily there's a pretty good moon tonight and already risen, and so you have an okay view of the valley. Not great, but you can see, maybe 100 feet or so from the top of the spire. Actually, you can see farther out than that, but there's a mist that's kind of filled the valley. So once they come up above that mist, or the fog bank rather, you can see them returning. So you see another one almost back to the spire, and just at about this moment, you see another one poke up through the clouds. Similarly, you've been watching this guy, and in between him essentially doing the same thing you are, of like watching out over the valley and listening and kind of intently trying to see what's happening, maybe giving a wave to the riders as they come back, and a little bit of maybe a head shake of disappointment or something. One thing he's done periodically is he's gone over to this the telescope that's up on this level, and he's kind of like looked through the telescope, but you notice something odd about the telescope. It's not pointed out in the direction of the riders, the flyers, or anything like that, and it's not pointed up like into the sky like you would think someone's looking up at the stars or something. It seems to be pointing more like across the valley, and it really strikes you as odd. He's gone over to it, let's say 3, maybe 4 times since you got up to the top here that you've noticed. He'll walk over, take the briefest of moments or two to look through it. Apparently seeing nothing, he goes back to his like intense search of the skies to watch for his men or something like this. So yeah,
based on the angle of the telescope, can I figure out where he's looking on the horizon? Like,
it actually appears to be below the horizon.
Okay, but can I get a sense of where he's aiming that telescope without actually going up and looking through it myself?
Aside from it being somewhere across the valley, not really.
Okay.
Yeah, it's at this point it's kind of hard to tell.
I will.
It's almost due east from the tower. Almost, not quite, but very close.
Okay, but it's nearly straight east from where we are.
Correct.
You said.
Yeah, across the valley. So. And
we're fairly north of Agick, so he's not looking at that.
It's hard to say, but it doesn't seem like it.
Okay. I will casually walk over to him and say, "Do you have another hunting party out that you're looking for?"
He's like, no, why do you ask?
I'm just curious. You've got your men out on this hunt, and the telescope doesn't seem to be pointed near where they are. I was just wondering if you had if there was another party out there that you were watching for.
He kind of raises his eyebrow, and says, a very observant one you are. I was merely keeping an eye on other areas of the valley. There's many things of interest in this valley. But look, they're coming back. It's probably been long enough. Yeah, probably been long enough that the first rider comes like bounding up the stairs, huffing and puffing just about that moment.
Okay. Did it look like he was eager to change the subject?
Yes.
Okay.
Not so much change the subject as like,
if you need me to roll something, I will.
Yeah, no, there's not, like, you don't really... Well, yeah, okay, let's take an insight roll just to see how clearly you read him.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed more like it seemed less like he was trying to change the subject intentionally, and more along the lines of, like, he's just excited about the hunt.
Okay.
Like that was so insignificant. It was like, oh, nothing. I wasn't looking at anything. almost like it was a force of habit that he even looked through it, kind of thing. And then,
Okay.
but then he's like, but then it's like he's just way more excited about the hunt. So
Okay.
his man comes
I, s-
bounding up there.
I assume he turns towards his guy that's coming up the stairs.
Yeah, he would, in fact, and the guy would come
Okay.
up through there and say, Captain, we had her in our sights, but my bird, she got injured, and I couldn't take the risk. I had to come back."
Okay.
And he says,
Those
yes,
two were
well done, of
while those
course."
two were talking, I would like to, as low key as I can, try to line myself up with the direction of the telescope to get a better idea of where it's pointed. Not actually going up to it or looking at it, but just sort of lining up with it so that I can see specifically in the direction the telescope's pointed.
Yeah, again, it's as best as you can. It's due east, and it's below the horizon, so it's not looking out along the horizon. It's actually pointed literally somewhere down into the valley, across. It's as if he's looking at something on the other side of the valley.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very
But
obvious.
okay. Just down in the valley, not up on the edge.
A little bit hard to tell, but yeah, it looks more. It could be right at the lip of the valley on the other side.
Okay. So
But it's like,
potentially on like the face of the rock face or whatever it
yes,
is.
exactly. Either that or something lower. It's without actually looking through it. It's hard to tell per se,
Okay.
but it's definitely below the horizontal. It's for
I would
sure
like to make as firm a mental note as I can of the features in that direction in case we want to go there and see what it is he's looking at.
Yeah, for sure. Give me a survival roll just to kind of
Okay.
like lock it in.
My
This is for, with your
my
skill.
background
This is,
feature probably helps too.
exactly. So we're just gonna see like, oh yeah,
20.
so you could very easily navigate, even if you had to go a different direction or route. You can very easily, even at night, you get a clear enough sense from where the tower is positioned. Like it would be real easy for you to navigate over there.
Cool. Just
Okay.
want to put a pin in that in case we want to revisit it.
Perfect. So uh, let's switch over to. Do we have Reed with us now? I see him in.
Yeah, we do.
Just one final thing before we cut away from me.
Yeah.
Now that guy's up, I just tell Thurl that I'm going to head down to wait for my companions to arrive, and just start making my way down the stairs, eyeballing however many people I can see on my way down.
Mm-hmm. Okay, perfect.
Just kind of surveying the place.
Yeah, and again, you all have already, even in the short time you've been here, you've had a pretty fair. You don't have the same number of the kind of lower, let's call them the lower caste that Farron and Kyra do at this point. You've seen more of the knights, but you have a fairly good judgment about how many there are already.
Okay.
So, and it's not a whole lot. I mean, it was like what did we say? I totaled up last time and I kind of forget now. 6, 7. I think there was like 8. I want to say there's like 8 or so of the knights that you've counted, and a number of the acolytes. I mean, you have to confer with Farron and Kyra,
Right.
of course, to get that, but you did see a fair number of the acolytes too.
Okay. Does that 8 knights include the 2 up on the top?
Yeah, and the 4 that went out.
Okay, so 2 up top, 4 out, and then 2 others somewhere around here.
Yeah, so there's 2. Yeah, so that's 6. There was the gal at the front gate who you assume is probably still on guard, and you think there was at least maybe 1 or 2 others that in passing. It's a little hard to keep track of them.
Okay. Cool.
So you estimate that there's, as far as you can tell, there's definitely less than a dozen of these knights, and possibly about the same, perhaps a few more. You're guessing, again, without conferring with them, that there's about the same number of these so-called acolytes or whatever they seem to be.
Okay.
All right.
Cool.
All right. So let me switch over. So we're down on the main level. Let's call it the entry level. Farron and Kyra. I thought you guys were just inside the room, like you had just dropped the invisibility, and as far as I remember, Kyra was still
he dropped that a long time ago. He turned into a guard. Do you remember?
Ah, that's right. That's right. You had just come back out through the kitchen. Thank you. Okay, so so you guys are in this.
We went all the way through there, and he decided we're not going to go mess with the guys throwing the knives, and then like go back the other way. And he's like on his way out to where Roxy is right now.
Yeah,
but we haven't quite made it out there yet because I think that's where we stopped.
Yeah, as far as you can tell, there's only one room that you haven't learned the contents of. And
This is the toilet.
so, so you're in the stairwell. About 10, 15 seconds ago, there was one of the knights went bounding up the stairs and just in passing said to you, we found it, but we found it, but my mount got injured. I had to return too quickly. I've got to go report. And he keeps running up the stairs.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, he barely even stops for a reaction. He doesn't actually stop for a reaction. He just kind of says that to you in passing.
I give him the thumbs up.
And now remind me, were you one of the knights or one of the acolytes?
One of the gods.
Yeah,
Just the low dudes.
Yeah. Okay.
So I guess that'd be the knight then.
Yeah, so there's really only, as far as you've seen, there's apparently two, possibly three, sort of. So there's ones that are wearing the heavier
I was in the
armor.
leather armor. I wasn't in the robes. I wasn't in the heavy armor. I was in like the leather.
Perfect. Okay, so that would be like the acolytes, like the ones in the kitchen. Okay, perfect. Okay, so yeah, he just kind of says it, blathers it out in passing and runs past you.
Mm-hmm. All right. Cool. I whispered to Kyra, are you ready?
I tapped yes.
Okay. I say, do you want
Let's
to?
have some weird spiders on here.
You want to go under the door? Because there's dudes in here. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll just assume you're tapping yes if you respond. With
I
your
bet that
voice.
feels really weird. Spider crawling on your neck. Oh, that's gotta.
Yeah.
Right.
Slap.
Oh,
I know.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
okay.
It creeps me out.
And I'm gonna be like, as soon as I walk in, I'll be like, wow. I had heard, but like the other people talking about it, but wow, that's cool. And I'm gonna walk to here, and then I'm gonna walk to there, and then I'm gonna have
And I'm gonna
lean
hop
up
off.
against the wall as I'm looking at Roxy.
So as soon as you walk through the door,
I'm not walking through the door. Oh, this door, yeah.
you walk back through the double doors, right?
Yeah, the double doors.
Yeah, that's why I walked through the door and went like, wow. I'd heard people talking about it, and then I kind of like walk over all the while looking at Roxy.
Oh, okay, cool. So the woman who introduced herself to you is still kind of on guard. She's awake, but she looks a little bored, and obviously, she introduced herself as Savra. You don't know if she has a second last name or anything like that. She just said Savra. So she says, "Yeah, it's I got bored looking at it about 2 hours ago, though, because all it does is sit there."
So as I walk over, I'm gonna kind of like walk close to the wall so Kyra can just go ping, over onto the wall.
Right? Yeah, I gathered that.
And then I kind of walk up to you and be like, "Wow!" And I kind of lean in, and I'm gonna lean in and look at it, but I'm gonna whisper to it and be like, "Hey, Roxy, it's Farron. Just act cool."
So, you are so lucky. So she hasn't even bothered looking at you. The other two are just kind of like leaning against the back wall, just standing there.
Like, yeah, it's somebody I know. I don't know. Excited puppy
can't
Roxy.
talk.
Woof woof.
Yep, Roxy is just standing there. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just gonna
Say be cool,
stand
and she
there, like-
starts like shooting out ice.
be cool. Here's a beer for you. It's nice and cold.
The other two,
She's got that brewing right now.
if you kind of glance over your shoulder, look out of the corner of your eye, the other two are, again, they're just kind of like only half-heartedly paying much mind to you. So they don't seem to. Let me see.
That was my
Just
point.
double check.
Deflect aversion. Deflect their attention off me onto the ball. You come and announce something that's in the room.
So one of them says, okay, so I'm going to give a second with Kyra here. So you jump off Farron and hit the wall, stick to the wall, of course, and you can climb down and easily under the door. There's not a whole lot of space, but you're a little tiny spider, so it's fairly easy for you. I'm just going to go ahead and open this up so it's visible to everyone, and then I will describe what y'all see. Right. So let me reveal it first, and then I will read the description. Boom. There you go. All right. So it's a room. It, in fact, is what you can tell quite quickly is a weapons locker of some form. You see, you see knights, armors. This is actually, well, yeah, they look to be in racks, and the racks are actually like locked. There's like clamps that kind of clamp everything in place. So there's some weapons, armor. You count very quickly. You see 4 long swords, 4 suits of scale mail, 4 shields, 4 helmets, 4 longbows, 4 quivers of arrows, and they're in a couple of racks that are again, they're locked. That is what you can tell right away.
Is there anybody in this room?
Nope, it is empty and dark.
Okay.
Got a fireball close to the door.
And this is like I don't see anything out of the ordinary. It's just weapons, like no papers, nothing, just out of place.
Well, no, I mean this is this is again where if the tower was getting attacked, they would be trying to defend that door and drawbridge, and so this is the weapons locker.
Okay.
Downstairs, the stuff you saw downstairs was much more like sundries. It was like sacks of grain and barrels of water and this sort of thing. There were things like rope and hammers and nails and all kinds of odds and ends down on the floor with the pens. Plenty, like a couple bales of hay and this sort of thing. But you didn't see down there. If you had taken a little bit more time, I'm just giving you this because I don't care. If you had taken a little more time looking, you would have found that it was just sundries. Whereas in this room, it's just weapons and armor. And there's nothing else in the room.
With the amount of people that we've seen in this tower and the amount of weapons that are like in this room, do I get the idea that this is it, or like there's a potentially more people that could be coming? Like this room kind of says, yeah, there's a lot of people who stay at this tower. We're just only seeing a small handful, or is it like I'm seeing like maybe this is it as far as the people who like between this room and the stuff that we saw down there, like conceivably, like the amount of stuff that I've seen is for approximately about the amount of people who are. Do you understand what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think so. You estimate that the amount of supplies that you've seen thus far and the number of people that you've seen this far, you imagine it's possible. There's maybe at most possibly 2 or 3 individuals not in the tower at the moment, but you think, especially since it's nighttime and you kind of saw all of them returning, that with the exception of a possible patrol, you're pretty sure that this is all of them.
Okay.
Again, at most you would guess possibly one, and you would think no more than 3 people are not in the tower at the moment. If that, they could all be here right now.
Could all be here. Okay, yeah. So just based on what I saw.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just gonna kind of take a mental note of
Sure.
the weaponry and
Sure.
just what you just said, and then I want to kind of stealth and try to crawl as close to the bottom of the cracks when I get out of this door to try to crawl back over to where Farron is and hop on his boot.
Yeah. So, Farron, while you're kind of standing there poking around and looking at Roxy, one of the acolytes actually says to you, "Huh, I don't recognize you. You must have just got here. What's your name?" "I'm James." "That there?
Oh, hey, James.
That's Bart."
Yeah. Oh, hey, Bart. Yeah, I mean, not long ago, but I mean, not too long ago. It's weird that I haven't seen you before. That's like, what shifts do you guys have?
Well, isn't it obvious? I mean, we're on the night shift, right? I mean, he kind of looks like you, like you're an idiot. Savra, for her part, is half-hearted. She's pretty focused on like, she keeps like every so often she'll peer out, like she'll slide that little window and take a peek outside, and she almost seems like she's listening for the what's going on outside.
Mm-hmm.
With the hunt. So at this point, she hasn't seemed to take much note to you.
Okay. I'm just like, oh, yeah.
She's like,
Duh. I mean, yeah. I'm usually asleep by now, but yeah, I was heading in, and some of the guys were like, Griffin, and there's a big ball down here that's made of metal, and I'm just like, I gotta see this.
well, it's nothing. I mean, compared to our hippogriffs and the giant vultures, I mean, what's a hunk of metal?
True,
But
I mean,
how come? But I didn't. You weren't at roll call this morning.
yeah.
I
was
swear I
at the
would have
back.
recognized you.
Oh, oh yeah, that's right. Looked a bit crap this morning. Had my hood up.
Oh, you just got here.
Yeah.
Hey Bart, we got a noob.
Oh, don't give me that hazing ritual just yet.
And
Do I feel
Savra
like tugging my leg?
Savra
Yeah,
actually kind
I'm
of calls.
trying to get back over to you, but
Yeah, no, you kind of easily get back onto Farron. And Savra kind of looks over her shoulder. She's kind of like, "Would you two keep it down and save your love chatter for the bedroom, or for the barracks? I mean."
Okay. I'll chuckle and I'll be like, sorry, Summer, I'm actually on my way up now. Just had to see this thing. Alright. Later. Bart. Later. Was
Hey,
it-
remember?
Reed can't remember because Reed's terrible at names. What was the other guy's name again?
Crap, I don't even know what I said they were.
Bart.
James.
James is who you're talking to, and Bart was the other guy, right? I
Yeah,
think that's what I
was
said.
Later,
Or did he
later,
say
James,
Bart and
later,
that's James? I don't remember. Damn it! I should have wrote
I
it
got
down.
Bartles and James, seriously?
yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking.
Oh,
I'm like,
no.
where's alcohol?
That
That's what
was
we're
so
doing.
not intentional, and God, I haven't thought of that for 100 years. So no, that was not what I. That if anything, that was like super subconscious. So he kind of says he's like yes, Commander. And he kind of like stiffens up and kind of gets back to attention.
As I kind of walk away, I'll kind of do the whole like the dragon face sort of thing, like motion to Salvador and be like.
Our cameras aren't working, so I'm not. We're sorry, we're not.
Oh, okay, so
seeing-
kind of you hit you like nod in the direction of who you're referring to, and then you
like
kinda,
Catwoman, yeah, Dragon
yeah, like
Woman.
dragon
Yeah.
face.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got it.
As I walk past the gun.
They kind of like without making a sound, kind of like chuckle or give a little guffaw kind of thing quietly. But then one of them, Bart, I guess, says, hey, remember our guests are in our bunks, so find another place to sleep, a storeroom or wherever you can find.
I was stationed upstairs. I think I'm sitting I'm on the floor or something like that in one of the third floor. Anyway, laters.
He says third floor. That's reserved for the knights. Yeah.
I know, that's why I'm on the floor.
Oh. And he actually looks at James. He says, he must be having an affair with one of the knights, huh? And Savra says again, would you all shut up?
Good one. Bye.
Ira is dying.
All right, so you get back through the doors without too much trouble. Give me one roll just to see. I'm just curious. Give me a deception roll. I should have asked for it earlier. I want to see how well they believe you.
That is a 17.
Okay, super. So the reason they started the conversation was one of them was suspicious, but then once you started bantering with them, they kind of loosened up a bit, and they're more. You almost get the sense they're more afraid of her than calling you out.
Yeah. True.
So anyway, yeah. So well done. So you get back through the doors. Hold right there, and we'll switch over to our third group, which would be Torm, Kalen, and Gitgrot. Now, of course, we're not having Kalen and Gitgrot with us. I'll sort of kind of do a little bit of NBC with them. But essentially, so Torm, you and the others, you're on these hippogriffs. You get this kill of the manticore. You see it plummet. You can, again, there's only, once you're in the fog of this valley, there's only 100 feet at best of sight, of view, and it's kind of really fortunate that it's a pretty bright night with the moon. So you kind of get a sense of where this thing fell to, and fortunately these hippogriffs are really well trained. So they kind of follow your commands. The three of you dive down. It's not very difficult to locate where the manticore fell to the earth. What would you guys like to do?
I was going to go after it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Go for the body.
Okay, so you want to land next to it then, or?
I mean, if anything, if we can try and if I can get the other guys to I'll grab one part, they grab two other parts, and we can try and take it with the griffins to actually pick the thing up, the body of it, and try and take it back to the tower.
Is there something specific you're looking for from it?
I mean, I was just trying to get us to be able to grab it so we can take it back to the tower.
To show it as proof.
Yeah, to prove that we killed it.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Okay, so let's say this will be tricky. I'm kind of feeling like I want to do an animal handling kind of thing and see if you could somehow get these hippogriffs to grab them.
Yeah, it was the idea.
Check something. You might need to throw it on the back of one. They're kind of
I'm just not sure how
enemies.
big the thing is in comparison to.
Yeah, I think he was concerned it was going to take more than one of them to even carry it.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah.
Give me a sec here.
So I'm not sure how big it is.
Well, they're both large monstrosities, so well, you are the engineer. What is your idea about how to get it back?
I mean, if it's not huge or anything, I could just grab it with talons from the constructed to grab it so we can pull it back. It only takes one, depending. If it seems like it might be too heavy, then
it's a little big for one of the hippogriffs to deal with. You think it seems like it's possible, but it would be a stretch.
I do have a bunch of rope. that I could use to like. I'm sure they have rope as well.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty sure that I could take.
Yeah. I mean,
my rope.
I believe Kalen and Gigrot will have it.
I would think they would, like, in their standard kits. I would take some. Sort of put it around the. I guess this thing has a saddle. The
Yep.
hippogriff.
Mm-hmm.
Tie it kind of around that, which would keep it steady. Then tie the other end to a part of the wyvern, and then have all of us do that at 3 points, so that way it lifts it.
Okay. I'm gonna have you do this. I'm gonna say, because you're working as a group, I want you to make a couple rolls for me, but they'll all be with advantage because you're working as a team. So first, let's do survival. See how well you're able to tie these ropes off.
Oh, good.
Okay. All right. And then let's follow that up. Okay, so you're pretty quickly able to fashion this a harness around the dead manicore, and then tie it off with a long enough lead on each, doubled up, that you feel like, okay, this is probably got a good couple hundred to 1,000, couple thousand, over 1,000 pounds of test at least, and you're doubling it up to kind of multiply the factors of strength and force that they can withstand. You tie it off to each of the harnesses of the hippogriffs. You're like, this should work. So now, why don't you go ahead and give me an animal handling to see how well you can manage to get the hippogriffs to actually not like collide with each other. All right,
we go.
Super. So you guys, again, these are pretty well trained. They are pretty, moderately intelligent, I think. Let me double check. I think they're pretty damn smart, actually. Let me just double check.
Hippogriffs, I think so.
Yeah, I think they're pretty smart. Where'd it go? No, they're not. They're pretty damn dumb.
I'm used to dealing with Roxy. She's not very
animal.
smart either.
Yeah, animal intelligence. But they're well trained and they're strong flyers, which is the bottom line. So you manage to maneuver it in such a way and keep them calm enough, basically, that they follow your instructions, as it were, and you manage to get it back with less effort and less difficulty than you initially thought you might have. Kalen is kind of commending you on, like, well done, well done, Torm.
Hey, it's kind of what I do. Engineering.
So as you fly back, the Manticore was the one that was slightly more intelligent. That's why I was thinking.
Yeah,
all right,
that's why I was hard to hide.
Yeah, I made a mistake. All right, so as you approach the tower, how do you want to come back to the tower?
I want to basically, have us cheering and land the thing on the top.
Okay.
On the roof.
All right, perfect. So, Patrick, back to Matthias on the roof.
Yes.
At this point, 2 more of the knights that have returned have stabled their mounts and brought themselves up to the pinnacle. They then I keep switching to the wrong dang map. Sorry. They then have come up to the top, and there are now a total of 5 of the knights up. 2 of them with their mounts that have stayed as almost like the personal guard or lookout, and then or night watch or whatever, and then the 3 that came back from the hunt, and they're kind of already regaling you with that thing, it's so dangerous, it shoots these needles out of its tail, and we cornered it, and we saw it before those others. And one of them kind of takes a glance at you.
How are the knights armed?
At this point, they're wearing their regular armor and weapons. So they're
Right,
wearing
but-
scale mail and was it longswords and scale mail, I think? Let me double check.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, longsword, scale mail. Sometimes they might have. Some of them you see with spears. These three don't have their spears at the moment. You imagine they might have chucked them at the Manticore
Right.
in the combat
And
or something.
Thurl, what kind of weapons does he have on him?
Let me check. I think he similarly has a longsword. No, he actually is carrying a greatsword.
Okay.
And he's wearing a breastplate.
Okay.
Yeah. So he's kind of he's like, well, that's the way it goes sometimes, it's better to protect your mount and no sense in sacrificing yourself for just a silly hunt, right? And he's got a lie. He's good natured. You can see they all get along. It's like, he asks them about was it tough flying through the fog and this kind of thing, and they're kind of having this banter.
Okay. As they're doing that, I'll just kind of look to them, politely interrupt and say, if you don't mind, I'd like to head downstairs and wait for my friends to arrive.
Thurl looks at you and says, if you like, you might have the better view from up here, though. I mean, surely we can see. And he says, look, there they are. And at that moment, you see the other, 1, 2, 3 hippogriffs kind of flying up. And you can see they almost seem like they're struggling or something. Basically, what they've done is as a group, they've come straight vertical and flew up to where they could actually see what was happening rather than trying to fly around. And then a moment later, you can see a moment later, kind of like, it's hard to say because they're maybe, a few hundred yards, several hundred yards actually away from you guys, probably over a mile away. But you get the sense that they have, it looks like they have this beast, either captured or dead and slung between them somehow. They're under tow and they swing, and there's a cheer from the knights and Thurl kind of all at the same time, like, ha ha, look at that, would you boys, and this kind of thing, and they're like, wow. And they all move over to like the southeastern edge of the spire, and they're just like, they're like pointing and they're like really like alive and just cheering and not yelling, so to say, but they're, if you've ever been to a sporting event, that's the kind of vibe, right? They're like that. They're like, their team just hit a touch. They're almost rueful. It's like the other team got a touchdown. So they're excited, but equally they're like, it should have been us, kind of thing, right? Exactly. Like, wow, that was great. I'm like, man, yeah. Yeah.
We suck.
Weren't they circus performers? How the hell did they do that?
We are skillful circus performers.
So I'm just kidding. That's not part of the conversation, but
we have a particular set of skills.
Right. So you see them flying back, and actually, before they even get there, Thurl turns to Matthias and says, "Huh, you seem to be a resourceful bunch. We should talk more once your friends have returned."
Does it look like they're planning to drop the Manticore off up on the roof, or are they headed for those like paddock areas down below?
The nearest you can tell, they look like they're flying straight towards you.
Okay.
And like they're gaining height more than losing, so.
Okay.
So it takes a little bit for them to come back and land on the pinnacle. In that time, what would Farron and Kyra like to do? You just came through the doorway. You're standing in the spiral staircase.
How long has it been since we first got in here?
So let's say from the time it took to mount up on the hippogriffs, get out there, do the combat. Then they had to make the harness. Somewhere in the realm of 20-30 minutes, probably.
Okay.
Everything happened pretty quick.
From my shape, I have a lot.
Perfect.
So
Yeah. So from when
We've been here for about an hour and 30 minutes, I'd say, because my invisibility went off, and then I immediately put on disguise self, which lasts for an hour as well, and that's still on.
Okay.
Yeah,
All right,
yeah,
well,
you're probably
I
getting
have mine for
close.
3, so I'm
You're
cool.
probably getting closer to 2 hours. The dinner, you're probably at the dinner for, you spent probably 20 minutes waiting for them to serve the dinner, or they were actually almost ready to serve dinner, so probably maybe even less than that, 10, 15 minutes. Half hour at most, 45 minutes at somewhere. No, I guess it was like a half hour because it was just shortly after the dinner that the invisibility came down. So it all happened pretty quickly, but yeah, you're guessing it's getting closer to the 2 hour mark. You did have a fairly good conversation at dinner with Thurl, and even though we kind of breezed through that a little bit. So yeah, it's getting somewhere around 20 minutes. But from when they came into the, I'm sorry, 2 hours. From when they came in the dining room, let's say it's been over half an hour since then. It was a quick 5 minutes tops for everybody to get mounted up and out for the hunt. The beginning of the hunt, it took maybe another couple minutes, not even to find the manticore, and then another few minutes to kill it, or a minute or two to kill it. So say 10 minutes at most, 15 minutes at most before the manticore was brought down, and then it took probably 15 minutes-ish for Torm and the others to kind of fashion this rudimentary harness and get them. They're on their way back now.
Okay.
I'll just kind of whisper, do you want to just go and chill back in the guest room?
I don't answer because I'm not sure. So I don't say anything. I don't even move.
You get 3 taps and you're not sure what she's saying.
Yeah, 3. 3 taps. I don't know what to do.
Yes, or is a maybe, which means okay. So I'll just head back.
All right. Okay, very good. So you guys get back into the room to kind of chill and wait.
When he gets in there, I bite him.
Said maybe.
No, I just felt like I wanted
Are you
to.
poisonous?
Possibly. Most spiders are. It's a house spider, but maybe.
Brown recluse. Oh!
All right, so back on the pinnacle. Yeah, you're dead. Necrosis sets in, and sorry, my friend.
I'm a black widow. No, I'm not a black widow.
So back on the tower, Matthias, you kind of watch. You kind of stand to the back a bit. Thurl, occasionally looks back, and again, your friends did well. This is amazing. Look what they've done. They're actually almost more. They're like. You get this sense, Matthias, that they're really impressed that the others were able to not only overcome the manticore, but then had the ingenuity to find a way to bring the whole manticore back, because it's getting 200 feet out, 100 feet out, kind of coming in for a landing. They start marveling at how did the ingenuity to be able to bring back the kill. So they're just, by the time the others land, they're just like the other 3 land, and Torm and Kalen and Gikrot, they help you down from the hippogriffs. They kind of pat you on the back and they take the reins and oh, we'll put them away for you. Well ridden, you're naturals, this kind of thing. Yes, it fell from the sky and it landed on one. So they're kind of they're really impressed. Actually, Thurl is kind of beaming. He looks really happy. And
10,000 gold.
He's he smiles and looks at you, and he says, before the others kind of take off, by this time the last of his 4 riders has come to the top and joined the group. So they're right now they're all up there with you, and they basically they're kind of just standing around after a moment, each one of them holding one of the hippogriffs, and one of them kind of just standing off behind Thurl. And he says, He says, well, I am a man of my word. And he pulls the signet ring off of his hand, and he kind of holds it out. He says, well, I will leave it to the three of you to decide who gets to keep it. And he kind of chuckles, and he tosses it towards you.
I'll catch it.
Yeah, Torm, you snatch it out of the air. That ring, we'll just go ahead and throw that in group loot.
Does somebody have a gloves of missile snaring in this party?
No, I
I don't think so.
Mage hand.
Couldn't remember.
Right?
You're not there.
Kalen might try
Do
to
it at
snatch
range.
it out of the air.
You might be thinking of the
range.
slip of the spider.
True hand. Just grabs
Through
it.
doors, around corners, upstairs, and through doors.
So somebody write in the group loot a ring worth 250 gold.
Ooh, that's
Is it magical at all?
I'll do that.
No, I already looked at that.
Yeah,
remember?
yeah. He already checked. It's not, but it is quite valuable, quite attractive. It's a noble's ring. It's just a well set gem. So he kind of
Bite
tosses
it
you
just
that.
to make sure it's real.
He says,
And how's it going?
Tink. Oh no.
he says,
Kind of weird. That's my
Does
hand when I go to the
Storm
toilet.
recognize whatever's on that signet ring? Or
I'll look
Kalen?
at
I
it,
mean, I
see if
know
it's
that like
um,
they've got like
See if I recognize anything on it.
noblies and other stuff. I know
Like
I'm not
hoodie.
quite there, but I know
um,
I'm not there, but I would imagine that they would be looking at it now that it's gotten like in their hands.
yeah, it is a feather path. So Farron got a very good look at it. It is a feather patterned golden ring set with a garnet. So if you want to put that specifics in there, by all means.
Everybody would have got a good look at it.
Is somebody putting that
He
in?
chucked it on the table.
Yep, I'm doing it right now.
Okay, so yeah, feather patterned, feather dash patterned, golden ring set with a garnet, worth
It's a ring of
250
feather
gold
fall.
pieces. It is not, but that would be cool.
I know, it should be.
It should be. It should have been. Yeah, you'd think, but it is not.
And they're all like hippogriff riders and stuff like that. They probably all should have.
Right.
rings of them.
Well, now you have noticed that they do have these kind of
They got the wings.
wingsuits. So, yeah. So you think that maybe
I know,
they have
but
other
it runs out of
means,
charge.
right?
It's gonna suck if you're like, oh, this is gonna. Oh crap! I'm out of charges.
Right.
Splat.
So he looks to the group of you and he says, well done, well done. It is getting late and we should retire, but please, would you please join me in the Great Hall before you retire? I have something else I'd like to discuss with you. Please, gather your other companions and come back to me. Has he just met the four of you? Did he meet Kyra?
Yeah.
No,
Nope.
he didn't meet Kyra.
Nope, no Kyron up
Oh,
there.
so he
and
doesn't
we've
say.
been-
Okay, so he doesn't say that. He says, "Please, before you retire, come, join me in the great room."
I'm excited to see if he has like alternative rumors.
Let us have one last toast before you retire. That's what he says.
One last toast before we poison you.
In my special room.
Is this Kool-Aid?
What are all the whips for? And why is there so much leather here?
Luckily, I spent the last 2
Word
years
is apple.
the iocane powder.
It's a good thing I built a community out here.
Okay. Yeah. Does he seem shifty about his request?
No, actually, he seems really genuine. He's like, not so much with you, Matthias. I mean, because all you did was stand up here and talk with him. But the other three, he's really.
You guys are awesome. This guy sucks. I don't know what he can do.
Well,
He
he's
looks strong,
He'll
but that's
find out.
it.
He's good at standing.
he's not rude about it. He's not rude about it. Your read from him is that
The
he's
three of us are like lousy.
you genuinely gather that he's both surprised and impressed. That's what you can read from. I mean, if you want to dig a little deeper, you by all means you can, but that's right off the bat. It's pretty obvious that he seems genuinely surprised and impressed.
Someone ask what they're gonna do with this manticore.
Oh, Mister, you're not there.
I do. I'm just right. They're probably nothing.
Yeah,
Wish
I was thinking the same thing. What
taxidermy
was the
and-
point?
Put it on a wall somewhere.
Because okay, is this right or wrong, Gregory? Like, didn't it seem like from the conversation, like especially when Farron and Kai were up there, did it kind of seem like that they had been trying to catch this thing for a while and they just haven't been able to do it?
You imagine that they probably knew of it in the valley, and it may have eluded them for a while, and then they seemed like
To the best of my memory, it definitely sounded less like, oh my god, somebody spotted a manticore, and more, oh my god,
Hey,
the
there it is
manticore's been
again.
spotted again.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
I suppose it could be like a sort of thing, like, if they're sending, patrols of like one out on a vulture, it's pretty easy picking through.
Give me a
So
second.
like,
Guy in a
so like
vulture.
more like this thing has been giving us trouble. Thank God y'all finally killed it, or like, hey, this is supposed to like be the trophy of all trophies, and
nuisance.
now you got big cojones for killing the thing. Like,
It's true.
trying to figure out which one it is. Like, is it
Should see Roxy's.
this is an annoyance and thank you for killing it, or like we've been making bets on who was going to be the one, and then they're going to get treated like a king when they kill it.
Well, we did get the ring.
True.
So, give me an insight check for Kyra.
Okay. The one thing I'm good at. I say that, and then I'm probably gonna roll low. Let me see.
Yep.
Oh, not too bad. Not too bad.
Roll
Plus.
insight from a couple hours ago.
I know. I should have asked earlier, but at least I was
It's
there
all
at the time.
You're thinking about it now. It's fair enough.
20.
No, I know. It's just been silly.
So you're kind of like just thinking. You're kind of like reviewing what's been happening, and you think back, and you get the sense that so
Just
from
imagine your little spider going like.
from the
Tapping your
conversations
I'm doing it while I'm webbing your boots. That's what I'm doing.
Oh yeah.
from the conversations you were having during dinner, as well as the little clips of interaction you've had with the people in this tower, seeing the acolytes in the kitchen kind of like tripping out on the mist and the steam above the cauldron, and the two that were in the garden room, the solarium or whatever the hell they call it, that were in kind of deep in their philosophical conversations and everything. You get so. You've already deduced that this seems to be some kind of an air cult. Okay, this has been your deduction. You haven't come out right and found out for sure. They haven't said anything to you about this. They haven't let on anything like that. It's just kind of your best guess. They clearly have said to you though that they are air enthusiasts, what they call it, air riding enthusiasts, essentially.
Like car enthusiasts, but air riding enthusiasts for this time.
Yeah, they I'm trying to see where it says how they refer to themselves. Aerial, that's what I was trying to find. Aerial mount enthusiasts. That's how they have expressed themselves to you. They're aerial mount enthusiasts. That's why now you're not there, so this is player knowledge, not so much as character knowledge. That's why Thurl was so, and the other knights were so impressed. So like they pride themselves at being great aerial combatants and riders, and to see, to be bested by these outsiders, it's like they're a little ruffled under the feathers, but at the same time they're like, damn, you know what I mean? Like, you can't help but be impressed, kind of thing. From your
The crap ones.
from your knowledge of nature and so forth, I mean, these are manticores are monstrosities, but just, you know of them, and you know that they are usually considered something of a nuisance and a danger. So regardless of how long it's been around, if it was spotted, you guess that would be something that they would want to handle right away.
Okay.
Because it would probably compete with the hippogriffs and vultures. If nothing else, it would compete with them for food.
So here's hoping that they don't try to kill us for solving their problem. That's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay.
All right, so you all are waiting downstairs in the room. I'm going to leave it up to... Kalen would be all for joining Thurl, first and foremost. Gitgrod is kind of like, he'll do whatever. Do the two of you follow... When he invites you, he's like, come, join me in the great room. Let us have one more toast. And he kind of starts trying to lead you towards the stairs.
I'd head down. I'd seem rude not to join them.
All right. Torm, you following with them, or?
Yeah, Torm's gonna join.
Okay. All right, so he sends one of the knights down ahead. The one knight that didn't have one of the hippogriffs. The other three kind of like mount up, jump off take the hippogriffs off the edge of the tower, and you can tell that they dive down to bring them into the stables. The fourth knight kind of runs ahead of you all. You imagine to go down maybe to the kitchen or whatnot to get some libation for you. So Thurl brings you down. Let me switch y'all back over to this is level 2. So you go down 2 levels. You descend this two levels down into the. We'll leave Farron and Cairo there. I don't know. They're downstairs. You don't know where they are. Yeah. But he leads you back into here, and I just realized I don't have a token for Thurl. How much of an oversight is that? Oh no, he's up on the top. That's right.
He's up on the roof with me.
I don't have his token on this level.
We didn't know that they were back yet, so that's why I didn't head up.
Yeah, perfect. So he leads you down into the great room, and he actually doesn't even really wait for the ale. You think that was just a means of getting to have a chance to have a private conversation with you all. He brings you downstairs, and he says, just give me a sec to collect my thoughts here, guys.
Haha, you fell for my dastardly ale trick. Now I stab you.
Oh, booger. I need to...
Whenever my 3 hours is up,
booger.
I will just pop out and just be sitting.
Okay.
Probably on Farron's lap,
So-
I imagine, since I'm just there chilling.
Are you hiding in the barracks room?
Yeah, that's where we are.
Yeah.
We're just chilling.
Sitting over in the corner, having a listen out to see if I can hear anybody coming, so I can pop in
Yeah.
invisibility if we need to.
Right, exactly.
Seeing as a
Because I imagine if we wait there
Yeah.
for a while and y'all don't show up, then it's like, maybe we need to go see what happened. I mean, I'm still thinking about what Gitgrot said about these are cult members. There's not really good cult members here, so that's kind of my thought process about the whole thing.
Okay.
So I'm
beautiful.
waiting for them to try to kill us.
I apologize. I'm just trying to. I got to double check something here and try to figure something out. So just bear with me, please. Oh wow. Okay. Perfect. That's so
I use prestidigitation to burn away the web.
Oh, that's so mean. If you catch me on fire,
Sick burn.
I'm gonna turn back to Kyra.
And just holding my hand, I'm just like, and then
Okay. I'm just trying to find a dang map. Sorry.
imagine your little spider's like,
Yeah, yeah. That's why I bit you earlier. I might bite you again.
I'll just be like, hey, you have 1 hit point.
No, I will web your hair. That's the next thing that I'm going. Try getting that web out of your hair and lighting that on fire. Yeah.
I pick you up with mage hand and hold you with mage hand. Yep, you're just floating in a
I will fight you like a spider. I'm just spinning, I guess.
behave.
Okay, so he says to you, he says, my friends, let us be honest with each other. I can tell by the looks of you and your efficient handling of that hunt. You are not a traveling merchant band or any some such. Clearly you are adventurers. Am I right?
I figure if you're saying something now, it's going to be Kalian.
This is true.
Circus performance.
No, we just have great talents. We are.
He's the
we
one who
are
started this circus ruse in the first place.
Yeah, you know.
I
let
mean,
him
my
do some of
special
it out.
trick is killing. So there's that.
The special trick is killing.
Crap.
Yeah, Kalian's the one who dug this
Oh
hole.
gosh, I'm so glad I'm.
Damn it.
I would have busted out laughing if I was there.
Let's pause. All right. So Kalen looks at him and basically says, "Well, yes, in fact, we've been known to take on the odd job from time to time, of course, but what do you have in mind? Or why do you ask?"
I'm sure you said, well, my good man.
Well, my goodness,
Yeah.
yes, okay.
Oh, my good man.
Yeah, okay, so, all right, here's take two. So he says take two. Well, my good man, we certainly have been known to take on the odd job, and our performance can't pay all of our bills, as you can imagine. So,
Yeah, that's good.
something along that line, to which...
Yeah, that works.
To which, Thurl says, well, perhaps you might find a place amongst us, riders of the skies. You seem to have taken a natural kinship to the animals and flight, and I can't help but be impressed by your performance in this hunt. It has come to my attention. Well, let me come right out with it. I believe there is a great evil growing in this land. There is a veil, similar to our own Sighing Valley, which is actually, as an aside, the first time you've heard him refer to this valley. But he does mention it as Sighing Valley. Similar to our Sighing Valley, a bit farther to the south and east, you will find another vale in which the sacred stone monastery lies. It is harboring evil monks. They are reclusive and they are a thorn in my side. I believe they are up to no good and doing great evil deeds in this land. I fear that they are too much for my knights and I to overwhelm them. Perhaps you might go and investigate. Perhaps if we combine our forces, or if you find that they are in fact up to evil, we can come to some agreement about how to best deal with them. I cannot send my riders too far afield, and I feel that they are just outside of our grasp.
Let's see.
I have been suspecting for some time that they have been up to no good, but I cannot get any information. The acolytes that I've sent and the young riders that I've sent to investigate, well, they have not returned. And there is an outpost there. In fact, one of our outposts was sacked not 2 days ago. I fear it was them. And Gitgrot and Kalen would kind of raise their eyebrow at that. And from what they told you, you might guess that they might be thinking of you probably would be Matthias and Torm would probably be able to kind of imagine it's possible that he thinks that the
we
guys
know what 2 + 2 is.
right, that you all killed
22. Yes, it's 22.
it is 22. So you might think that it's probably not a stretch that he thinks that these people are responsible for the men and women you actually killed.
Right. Matthias will chime in and say, well, we have commitments in the near future, but if our travels take us that way, we may be able to take a look and get an idea of what's going on over there.
You gather from what he just said, it is probably on the way back towards, towards Agick, towards the castle.
But he doesn't necessarily know that's where we're going.
No, fair enough. No, he does not. He does not. That was more for your knowledge, just to make sure you all had a sense of where it might be.
Right. And Matthias definitely takes note of his description of the location. But he's just saying, look, we may not be able to go there. The idea is that we may not be able to go there now, but if our travels take us that way, we can take a look and maybe report back to him with what we find. But it's not a tomorrow thing for us.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. He says, "Well, that is more than I could ask. You seemed capable individuals, and my instincts told me to present this information to you in the hopes that perhaps we could find mutual advantage. For the time being, please." And by this time, there's actually been a couple of the acolytes have come in with like a tray of ales. So he says, "Please, to your health, drink heartily, enjoy yourselves. I fear I must retire, as I have been up since the wee hours, and I will be up again at dawn. Enjoy, relax, and
okay.
And
So
make yourself
Matthias will take an ale and down it.
Yeah, make yourselves comfortable, and then he just kind of like toasts you all and
sorry, halfway through it.
And he excuses himself. Kalen, Gitgrot, probably downs the tankard.
The dwarf drinks his ale first. Who'd have thunk?
Right. Kalen is similarly like, you are a gracious host, my good man, and thank you. We will see if we can look into this matter, and in the meantime, we had a great evening, and we thank you for welcoming us into your hunt. It was great fun. Something along those lines.
About how late in the evening is it now?
So at this point, we'll say it's getting somewhere in the range of maybe 10 o'clock-ish. It's
okay.
It's after dark. It's
getting to be bedtime.
Yeah, it's a reasonable time to hit the hay.
Okay. Matthias will make it pretty clear that he's about to head to bed.
Okay. He already kind of has excused himself and kind of left you to it.
While they were upstairs, talking, I probably would have popped out of Spider by then
Okay.
because I can only hold it for about 3 hours. And when I end up falling on Farron, since he's trying to hold me aloft with a mage hand so cruelly, I would have said, like, ow, and like, hey, can I talk to you about something?
Shh. So loud. It's like
It
guys.
hurts. That was high. Okay. So I walk over on the bed and first I just kind of say that room over there just had a bunch of weapons. It seemed kind of to me that it's probably for the amount of people who are in here normally. Didn't seem too suspicious or anything like that.
Okay.
But I keep thinking about what Gitgrat said, and I mean, do you know of a good cult? Because I don't know of a good cult.
Don't tend to normally associate with them, but I hear your meaning.
Yeah, my father. He kind of used to talk about some of the things that he was into. So to me, cults are not so great. So I'm kind of wondering, like, what we're doing here. Just, like as if everything's okay. Hospitality,
Yeah.
buddy, and the like.
Well, yeah, I mean, I went invisible because I thought this was going to be a bad situation. And I thought that handy to have somebody that's not seen, but turns out that this is kind of boring.
Yeah, same here. I just thinking about, kind of what Gitgrat was saying, like, let me make sure that if something goes wrong, we can be here to rescue our friends. But
Yeah.
it seems like he's just all about drinking and eating. That's it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen. We'll have to wait till they get back, but I don't know if they're going to be staying the night here. If that's the case, then that might not be that great for us, seeing as they don't know we're here. I'd hate for them to come knocking on the door in the morning and be like, hey, who are these guys? So
We were outside. We just snuck in. We have a bunch of circusy stuff out there. I don't know. We'll make up something. I'm sure you'll be able to talk your way out of it.
anything happens, I can always jump out the window, so that's fine.
Have the rest of us gone back to the barracks at this point?
This would have been during the time of you eating and drinking, unless y'all just left after 15 minutes of eating and drinking.
Well, you
'Cause he
guys
said
were.
throughout the
We
night.
just passed around some ales for a toast. I don't think it was a full meal at that.
No, definitely not. But there was still quite a bit of time between when they returned to the room before, like, you would have come down.
Yeah. Oh, I just say we wait and find out what happened. I haven't heard any combat yet, so pretty sure we'd head towards gun if it went off.
True.
Pretty sure the whole valley would hear Torm's gun.
So you would have heard it when he fired during the hunt.
Yeah, but you
would have known it was.
But
Yeah,
it wasn't
exactly.
inside of
a
the
long way
Right.
away.
Totally, exactly.
I'm figuring it's like boom inside the keep, and it's like, okay, they're in trouble now. Let's go.
Gotcha.
Um,
That you have.
and
known.
another thing, like when we get back to Agick, I'd like to pick up something, and I've been thinking about it for a while. Some of the things that my father kind of taught me that, I mean, I was more interested in what my mother did, but I think that it might be useful to kind of start thinking about it. We'll talk about it later, but I need to pick up something when we get back there.
Well, I'd like to find something about your sister, because that note from your mum was a bit.
Yeah, it's another reason that I was kind of wanting to kind of go this route. But I don't know. I mean, she's a wizard. She's a little silly, but she can take care of herself. So if something happened, and something must have really, really happened.
Can you like spy on her or anything like that, or you don't know that yet?
No. I've been practicing, but I haven't been able to figure that one out just yet.
All right. Well, let me know when you do, because that's probably the best way of finding out any information about her.
All right. And I just kind of go dig in my bag for some rations and eat that.
All right, and while you're rummaging through your bags, the others kind of crawl into the room at that point. So, and I made a mistake. Let me bring you all.
When the door opens, I cast minor illusion to have a big sack, because I'm kind of like sitting down in the corner, just a big like a
Bring everybody. That's
sack or like a box or something in the way of me. So it's like,
Yeah, I'm just gonna be like surprised. So if it's not them that's coming in there, I'm gonna have to do some explaining because I'm trying to eat. So trying to eat, yeah.
drop you back over there. All right, so the four of them kind of like, well, the door wasn't locked or anything, right?
yeah, but I would have closed it, I guess.
Right. Okay. So they walk back in, and whoever's the last one in closes the door behind them. You at this point, you kind of have heard and seen that people are tending to like quiet down. You probably passed one or two people in the in the evening that like bid you good night and looked like they were heading towards their wherever they were going to sleep for the evening.
All right. As soon as everybody's in, first thing Matthias says, well, pretty clear we're going to have to be here till morning at least.
There's a crate in the corner.
There's no way we're stealthing out of here with a giant metal warthog.
I go in and I start telling them about the weapons area and just about how many guards and everything that I've counted while we were on our walking and stuff like that.
I'll drop it and I'll pull out my book and I'll show everybody, because they didn't get to actually read it last time. I read it to them, and I'll show everybody the note that I found.
What's it say? I can't remember. It's been a while.
Oh, something about the prisoner?
I'll read
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
Let me actually make it available to everyone. So you're going to show them your note, your
Yeah,
version
as
of the note. Perfect.
It's transcript, yeah, so it's exactly the same.
Right.
But yeah, before I was invisible, so they couldn't actually read
That's
it. I
okay.
had to-
I'll just show it to all players. It's just as easy. So this is the actual note, but he basically transcribed or made a shorthand version of it. It says, Moroska, we are pleased to hear about the outcome of your altercation with the Black Earth cult, and we praise you for the capture of their prisoners. This noble woman from Agick has an interesting tale to tell, and we shall enjoy interrogating her further. Keep close watch on the Sacred Stone Monastery. I want to know what our enemy is planning next. And that is exactly where he just asked the four of you to go investigate.
Right.
And
I don't think
this place doesn't have any
this-
prisoners.
Yeah, this noble one, I don't think is here. I'm like looking at it again. It sounds like that this beloved queen has the prisoner, because she's doing the one that's doing the interrogating.
Yeah, she has the prisoner,
Yeah,
but the
okay.
Black Earth cult, I mean, he said that Moroska has captured at least some of their prisoners, and I haven't seen any prisoners in this place, so I don't know where they're holding them.
Yeah, it definitely seems like whatever prisoners were captured were taken somewhere else.
Yeah, they were taken somewhere else. They're not here.
We've
I mean,
been up and
we've
down
looked
this place.
all around this place while we were stealthy and have not seen any prisoners whatsoever.
Okay. Let me see. And we can infer from this that the nobleman was a member of the Black Earth cult, or am I making connections where there aren't any?
Maybe.
No, it sounds
by
like
the sound of it.
it sounds like the Black Earth cult had prisoners. These guys killed the Black Earth cult and took their prisoners.
Okay.
A
Okay.
really bad prisoner exchange.
Either way, there's a noblewoman from
Yeah.
Agick who's gone missing, and somebody in that town in Agick probably knows that and has reported it to the authorities.
And if they
Must have
haven't,
all
then
of
there's
them.
a problem. Then they're
Yeah.
involved in some way if they haven't.
Yeah, if they haven't, it's because they're shady too.
Right.
All right. Based on everything that we've seen, I don't think we can take these guys. So-
what are you talking about? Of course we can.
These guys?
But why would
Kaylee,
we?
I mean, they're about to go to sleep. We could just sneak it out and like sleep shots and
I,
whatever.
we can knock their heads. They were
Oh, that happened
pushovers.
last time.
We could, but I don't see.
we're
any-
talking 6 to 8. We're talking like 8 nights in with swords. We've got this Thoromaraska guy, and how many of the acolytes have
There's
we
about
seen?
8 acolytes just down on this first floor, and what's her
This is a very-
face? So Savra on top
Right,
of that.
We're dealing with in the neighborhood of 20 people.
Yes, but 20
Yeah.
people can't all fit in a room. We can bottleneck them, take them out.
No, but it's
One by one.
gonna. I mean,
Technically, do we
Those
have any
dudes
reason
fit them all.
to, other than the fact that they're a cult?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason to take them out. I'm under the mindset that the ones that attacked us at the cliffs were either a different faction or outcasts from these guys, because these guys didn't attack us at all. They seemed quite hospitable.
Well,
Well,
no,
but
this is the
Thurl
reason why
mentioned
we're going after the other group is because they think that those guys did what we did.
yeah, Thurl mentioned one of their outposts was attacked. Probably
Oh.
the ones that Kaylin and Git got attacked, and Thurl thinks that it was this Black Earth group or the guys at the monastery.
I'm assuming we're not correcting them, right?
Oh hell!
No,
Okay, just making sure.
stupid.
I sure as hell was going to pop.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, that was you guys.
All right.
Oh, that was me. Sorry.
Yeah, my bad.
All I'm thinking is that if the guys that attacked us were the same guys as these guys, why didn't these guys just attack us like they did? They didn't say anything. They just attacked. These guys were like, "Hey, you want to come in, spend the night,
Because
have dinner?"
You guys don't know who killed their guys.
But it shouldn't matter because the other guys just attacked us without saying anything. These guys have an advantage because they're in a fort and a keep and much more numbers. They didn't attack us.
Yeah.
We also
True.
didn't display the same amount of offensive. We didn't present ourselves as the same level of threat.
I
Yeah,
we
but
did
then they're
more.
just
They caught us.
walking.
They caught us.
And maybe
They
the
were
guys in the
walking.
outpost were on guard for something. Maybe they thought we were a member of another cult.
I
You know-
think we probably displayed more of a threat. Before we were just walking. Here we were actually sneaking around their place, and they didn't
Oh,
attack.
and not just that, like they saw us when we were out trying to figure out how to get into the place in the first place, and they're like, "Hey, we saw you out there," and then, I was waving like, "Hey, sorry, yeah." So I don't know. I hear what you're saying.
But the timing of everything suggests that those guys were the other outpost that got attacked, and they think it's these Sacred Stone guys instead of us. I have no intention of disabusing of that notion.
Yeah, I agree. Let's just leave. I mean, it doesn't seem like they're doing anything here. We know where they are. It's not like they could just pick up their
Yeah.
tower and leave.
Yeah, I'm thinking
so
we sleep. Probably make sure that somebody stays. Set up a watch schedule because the two of you haven't been seen. If they pop in and realize, wait, there's 6 of them, then I don't even think Kayleen can dance around that. So if we keep a lookout so that you two have a chance to vanish however you want to do it if somebody's coming, then in the morning, you go invisible, you go spider, however you want to do it, and then we just leave.
Can we barricade the door while we sleep?
all these doors have bars on them, except for this one. So just put a bed up
Okay.
against it.
So
Yeah,
if
just
okay,
put a
so
bed up against it and barricade.
okay, well then if we set the bar, then at least they'll have to knock, and you guys will have a chance to
Well,
disappear.
this one doesn't
True.
have. Every other room has
This
a bar.
one doesn't. Okay, so then
We're,
you
we're
probably
gonna move
set
a bed or
some
something.
guard. Okay.
Just move the bed in the way. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll move a bed there.
But yeah, we'll need something to alert us before they see you. Is my point.
Okay, no problem.
Yeah.
In
We'll,
the morning,
we'll
you guys
stay.
vanish, and we just leave like we're going to be on our merry way.
Okay, so that's all they said. That somebody attacked them, and that was it.
Well, they talked about this Sacred Stone Monastery and how they think there's an evil cult. Did they specifically mention an Earth cult, Gregory?
He
Well, the note
did
says
not.
Black Earth cult.
Yeah, Thurl didn't
Um,
say anything about. He mentioned some reclusive monks, and
Evil monks.
he said that he fears that they are up to no good, and he also said that how do you call it? He mentioned the Sacred Stone Monastery. So, and he
Right.
basically told you where to find it.
So I turn to Gikrot and I say, are you okay with all of this? Like, this is now a good cult? Like,
No, it's not. I think these guys are evil. I've been wanting to kill them since we got here.
Yeah.
Speaking of killing, how'd you go with the Manticore?
Oh, dead.
Dead? Get any souvenirs?
ooh,
For
did you
the
like
trick?
chop off its hand or something?
Any one of the spines, maybe?
They just sort of left it on this roof.
I blow you a run.
I don't know where to take all those things.
Ki-
Just cut
Oh, well.
dead.
It's
Farron, my good
monster
friend,
porn. That's what it is, monster porn.
We didn't think of you. We should have. You probably would have liked a souvenir from that, would you? Or not?
That's all good.
We
Yep.
sort of got caught up in the fanfare and the festivity of it.
Yeah.
They were celebrating us.
Like, Greg,
I'm sure
this
we'll come
the door.
across another one.
The door of this room, does it open in towards us or out?
Oh, that's a good question.
That's
I
okay.
forget what I had said.
I just remember you saying it wasn't barred.
I would say in.
I'm gonna
because
say
you
they
don't have a
all
door
open
opening a window.
in.
Most doors open
Yeah.
into a room.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say
You don't
that's the
wanna open
case.
the hallway 'cause then you can't-
I was opening up and down so I could do a trip line just in case if somebody came in.
You could certainly set some kind of a,
Ooh,
I
I could
was-
do above it. Actually, I could set up a thing that could fall if somebody opened the door.
sure.
Mm,
Well,
Like
I know we were gonna put a bed in front of
probably
there.
Something a bit inconspicuous, because yeah.
It's inconspicuous.
I mean,
if it hits them, they're just going to be inconspicuously knocked out.
And surely we will not get blamed for that, right?
Oh, I left that up top. Sorry, it's not what I meant to do. It was an axe. Oh, it's in his head.
all we need to do is just put we just need to get a tin or
something.
something, get like a piece of string, attach it to the bottom of the door really loosely, and then
Yeah.
attach it to the tin so that when the door opens, it pulls the tin, makes a noise, and then the little string falls off the door. So it just goes rattle, and then you're like, someone's opening up the door. You don't want it
I guess-
rattling and pulling across the thing, because then that'll be like,
I mean,
what was that?
if anything, I could just lay like a can or something small just in front of
Yeah.
the door, so when it opens,
Exactly.
it just hits it.
Yep.
Yeah, I see that.
And
Cool.
I still put my bed over there, as wimpy as my strength is. I'm gonna do it.
I have a crowbar in my bag. I'll lean against the door, so whenever the door opens, it'll fall.
So, Gikrot says, so we're not gonna kill these guys now?
Only if they attack us in the middle of the night and try and kill us.
All right, then
I
I'm going to
know.
bed.
I hear you.
And he goes over and crashes on one of the bunks, very huffily and kind of indignant.
Yeah, I agree.
For the
I still
record, I
think-
think they're all evil.
Well,
Oh,
they'll prove that during the night if they come and kill us.
No one's trying to dispute that necessarily. It's not their nature; it's their numbers that are an issue.
Yeah, there's too many baddies.
If I had
Anytime
more
we've gone up
explosives,
against
I'd put it on the bottom.
Anytime
I
we've
mean-
gone up against more than six enemies at a time, the fight's gotten tough. We're talking about like 20 here.
And I mean, okay. So just based on this letter, they have probably killed a bunch of folks and taken some prisoners, right? So yeah, based on that alone, we know that they're not good people. So if they told us about these other folks, I mean, would that be like doing something for these bad people? Like,
I have no
wouldn't that make us
intention.
bad too?
I have no intention of telling these people what the Earth guys are doing. I intend to go back to Agick and report both of them to the authorities.
Yeah, we have their numbers. We have how many
sounds
they're
good.
where they're at.
I have no intention of coming back here and tell them, hey, this is what the Earth cult is up to. I have intention of going back to our Captain Fancy Pants and saying, look, you've got two cults nearby. Here's where they are.
Here they are. Here's our numbers. You got that layout drawing, right?
Now I feel better about this situation.
the elemental attacks that we had in town, those were fire and water. Is that right?
So
Yes.
far.
So
And
yeah,
this is Earth.
so fire and water elements have attacked the city. We hear about this Earth cult. I mean, what are the odds that the air cult are the one group of good guys in this whole mess? Pretty sure they're all assholes.
Sorry. That was
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's true.
They're a bunch of
like to
airheads.
find
It's
out.
okay.
I would like to find out who this Arasai lady is, so that maybe we could find this noble woman.
Gracie Calendar.
Maybe a bit of coin in there, rescuing some.
That's
noble
absolutely
woman.
a name worth researching when we get back to the city. Absolutely.
That's right, Farron. You can research that, correct?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we should research her. We should see if anybody's heard of this Thurl Maraska guy.
And
We
I gotta
should
go
see
buy
if
a
there's
book.
We should see if there's a
Let me
noble
see.
woman missing from the city. Find out what her story
And-
is.
Just
She's a
research on
queen.
this,
Queen of what?
on
That's,
this
yeah.
image.
I think she's a queen in the same way that the guys who lead a redneck militia call themselves a colonel.
Okay. That's what I was saying. Like, queen of what? What are you queen of? Queen of the.
Oh, she's queen of
Spiders.
anything, then it'll be in.
I met some of those folks down there.
But
Queen of
yeah,
spiders.
I'm voting we spend the night because it's too late to start leaving now. And the whole point of our whole pretense was we need someplace to stay and rest. So we sleep. Tomorrow morning we head out and
Gregory, how thick are these walls? Because we're just like making chatter about what
Stone.
we're gonna do.
I'm pretty sure we're not talking that loudly.
No.
Yeah, I
that's
mean-
enough.
I'll tell you what. Since you asked, make a stealth check with advantage.
Want me to do it?
sorry.
Yeah, my stealth's not that great, but I asked. So. Oh, it's a good thing I had advantage. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. 18.
Yeah, so you kind of, if any of you got too loud, one of the others of you was kind of like, hey, let's keep it down or whatever. So you mean you have a sense of like you don't want everyone to hear all of this conversation, and from what you can tell, nobody's paid any mind. They're pretty thick walls. They're like, you imagine they're probably, the interior walls are probably a good foot thick, you know, and it's stone. So it will carry, the sound will carry a little bit, but not that much. With the door closed, it's fairly well, you know, you don't hear
Alrighty.
much. I mean, you
All right,
recall,
sounds like a plan.
you recall when you listened to the kitchen door, it was kind of muffled. Like you could tell something was going on inside, but picking out anything specific was fairly difficult.
And I'm sure they're not listening because they're all like stoned.
Yeah, they were heading to bed. They're drinking ale.
Oh yeah, we didn't tell you what was going on. They were like inhaling stuff from like cauldrons
One
and
with the
saying
steam.
crazy things. Like, yeah, this place is creepy.
Easy.
So I don't know what y'all were eating up there, but I'm eating rations tonight.
Jimmy and
Alright,
Todd are pretty
so-
good there.
Matthias will turn in for the night at this point.
Cat.
There's a cat. Kill it. It'll report.
It was spying.
Cat familiar.
Kaylin asks if anyone, is it worth setting a watch for the evening, or shall we just trust that we're safe in?
I don't mind.
Or
I put the bar
big-
the
I
door.
put my crowbar leaned against the door, so if it
Perfect.
opens, it'll fall.
And I have a bed that's right behind that crowbar in front of the door.
It's gonna hit you in the head. Clang.
Good enough for me.
'Cause I
He goes.
Need a second to change into like something so that I don't get spotted. Just in case.
Yep. So he gets in. Yeah. So Kaylin turns in.
I'm staying where I am in the corner.
I walk back over to Farron and say, "Hey, I need to talk to you about something spell-wise a little later. All right?"
Okay. Yeah.
And then I walk back over to the lovely bed that I pushed against the wall, and I lay down on that particular one.
Cool.
Okay, I was. Let me just check one thing, and you shall carry on.
Rednecks. Colonel?
My first thought was actually the arms dealer from The Living Daylights, who called himself a general. But watched that movie not too long ago.
I don't think I've seen that.
It's not
Is it
bad.
any good? Yeah. Okay.
It's not bad.
I don't know.
Of Timothy Dalton's James Bond movies, it's the better of the two by far.
Ah. Okay.
License to Kill was just weak.
Yeah. I really liked the old James Bond movies.
I'm excited that they
I had
announced
to learn how
it.
to act then.
I'm of two minds on Craig coming back, honestly.
He's going to do one more. He's going to do 25. Bought 25. So I like Craig. He's good.
He's okay. I mean, the last one was and it would have been a good way for him to end his run, story-wise.
Good have, yeah.
And when it was done, he was talking like he was finished with that role. Like
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Unless they got,
he
they might have
was saying things
found
like,
a
"I'd
way
rather
to
pull my fingernails out than come back than do this."
Yeah.
Yeah,
They may
that's
have
kind
come up
of
away.
what I got too when I was reading about that
Yeah,
situation.
he really
was
sounded like he
like,
wanted no part of it anymore.
no
Yeah.
way, never going to do it ever again. So,
They'll probably do 25, and then they'll cast somebody else.
So,
I don't think he'll come back after that one.
Nah.
all right, folks. So quickly after, after you've kind of had this discussion and before the evening, well, I guess it would have been. Trying to think about. Yeah. So sometime before you gather, sometime before midnight, there's a knock on the door. It's not loud. It's just like.
Matthias immediately looks over at Farron and Kyra and says, "Hide!"
I'm just going,
I'm going to check the door.
spider.
Remove the crowbar and just like open the door slightly. Yeah.
You see in the hallway Savra, the knight who had been at the gate in the gatehouse. She says, "Pardon the intrusion. My shift's over, and I was hoping to just, have a quick word before I turn in."
What?
Well, honestly, I heard how you handled the Manticore, and what can I say? I'm impressed. We Feathergale Knights. Our mission is to master the elemental air, to destroy our enemies, to destroy the enemies of Agick. And when I heard that you all, when I heard that you all so easily defeated the Manticore that 4 of our best riders couldn't defeat, I couldn't help thinking that. I couldn't help thinking that perhaps there might be a place with us for you if you're interested. I could talk to Thurl and put in a good word, and perhaps you might be willing to join the Feathergale Knights.
Question though, you said to defeat the enemies of Agick. You work for the city?
No, not so much. Most of us are from Agick, and we try to work behind the scenes, and I can't say much. It's not my place to say, but well, once we get strong enough and we've been able to master the elemental air, we have greater power, and then we can do greater good.
Well, wait, I don't want to sound harsh or anything, but like, all right, it's gonna sound kind of a dick thing, but we heard you guys were a cult. Is that true?
She kind of she's like she kind of flusters like cult. The only cult I know about are the Black Earth cult. I'm sorry. I must have been mistaken. Never mind. Good night. I'm sorry to have troubled you.
No, wait. I'm gonna grab her. At least try to.
She kind of looks at you, looks down at your arm on her arm, and looks back at you.
Don't be flustered. She's all flustered. Such a strong grip.
But
Wow.
do you all know about the attacks on the city from it was water elementals and fire elementals? You know about that?
Well, we only get a little bit of word from the city out here.
But I thought you were working behind the scenes for the city.
Water and fire elementals, you say?
Yeah.
I've heard nothing of this, but perhaps Thurl has. But I really should get to sleep. I'm sorry to have disturbed you. Please have a good night. Perhaps I'll see you in the morning.
Well, I'm gonna
she kind of like yanks her.
I do too.
Her arm out of your hand. And
I'd like to insight when she was getting all flustered about the whole cult situation.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely was awake because I was like, oh, for the love of it, let me turn into a spider. Oh. Not too bad. 14 plus 7 is what? 24?
21.
21? My math is not great right now. 21.
She took offense to being referred to as a member of a cult.
So she might be, yes, but like all cultists, they don't feel like they're cults. Yeah, that's literally what I was thinking, Matt. Same thing. That's like, you took the words right out of my mouth.
You offended?
Okay.
That's exactly what a cultist would do.
Okay. Alrighty. Good enough. And and what about like when she said that because I even wrote it down there and I was like, under whose authority? Is that she works in the for the city in the shadows?
So I'm being like really generous because she was kind of like whispering to Torm. I mean, you can make a perception. That's true. That's why I said
I was playing.
I am being generous.
If you say no, it'll be okay. I'll take the no. That's fine. I'm not arguing. I'm trying.
She was just she was whispering again.
Okay.
So
all right, no problem. I just will be suspicious of her. That's all. Since I gather I didn't hear everything that was said. I only heard key things. Like maybe when she got huffy when the cult situation came out or whatever. Because sometimes when you get flustered, you raise your voice slightly. So I'll just take what you said earlier and do it like that.
Close the door, put the crowbar back.
okay.
I stay as a spider until the 3 hours were up. I go to sleep.
All of a sudden, poof.
Yeah. I can't really.
I'm like-
I don't really sleep, but I meditate.
Give everybody,
as a spider.
give everybody wet willies while I'm invisible. My aunt's
All right,
I have
so at that point, you all are able to get a long rest.
Oh, you're invisible.
cool beans.
Let me see what spells I'm gonna take.
Longest rest. Oh, I've got all my luck back. I feel lucky.
I think
What
I'm
was
gonna
that?
say cold
Is that a
person.
cat?
That was a
Pardon?
meow.
That was Elwood.
It sounded like my child screaming slightly.
See my cat when it was just like,
He was.
"Oh, yeah, it's
flush-
Elwood can be pretty loud.
shut up."
So,
I remember Colin being all like, "Sounds like someone's killing a cat." I'm like, "Yeah, that's mine."
shortly after sunrise, you start to hear sort of the hustle and bustle up and down the central stair. There's, you hear the door opening and closing to the kitchen several times. You can definitely tell the spire is coming to life. What would you guys like to do?
Not get eaten by the spider.
Matthias wakes up and basically starts packing to leave.
Yeah, I'll get my stuff. Get my crowbar.
Yeah, I gather all my stuff together and I go do a running jump and I land and hop on Farron's head, turn into a spider as I get to his head.
Okay.
Like I'm gonna crush him.
Screw up the timing, hit him in the head,
Oh my
then
God.
do a spider.
Yeah.
Boom!
Whack, whack, broken nose, blood everywhere.
Ant-Man.
Why would you do that?
You're in my eye, ow!
Ooh, spiders in your ears.
You laid on my cuticle.
It's like that lady.
Kaylin suggests you all get some breakfast before you head out. No sense in turning away their hospitality. They've been generous thus far.
I'm a little worried about what I said last night, so maybe. We'll see.
Ooh, what did Jill? Oh, I can't say anything. I'm just gonna sit there.
Well, I'm not
Let's see how
gonna
this
do it.
plays out.
Maybe we could get breakfast in a doggy bag.
Yeah.
What are you gonna do? I mean, at this point, you're still sitting in the room. Or...
What did Farron do? Has he done anything? Got
No,
invisible
I've got
or
a spider in
changed?
my head.
I'm just
What
sitting
is-
on his head right now because I can't see when he turns invisible, so that could be a problem for me. So I'm waiting.
Hmm.
Yeah,
All right.
I'm waiting for him to do something.
Matthias packs up and basically just brings his gear over towards where Roxy is. Kind of like you bring your luggage towards the front door shortly before you leave for a trip.
But you keep on your axe and stuff like that.
My axe generally stays with me, yeah.
Okay.
But the rest of the stuff will be there, which
Wait,
includes quite a bit.
that's weird. Yeah. With
Yeah.
a sign.
You're gonna leave it in the room with Roxy?
I'm going to be there, but I'm bringing the stuff out. If they don't, and see if one of them comes up and is, asking for us to go somewhere else. Yeah, basically.
So
But
you,
Matthias is ready to go.
yeah, okay. So you go out there. There are two different guards on either side of the door, and a different knight stationed by the front gate. Then Sabra is not there.
Ooh, she was too flustered.
That
You wanted a
means
night
not
with a
time for
dwarf.
Yeah,
her to-
she had the night shift. So.
that-
She
yeah,
got
that is
refused
not
by the
her
dwarf.
turn to take
Yeah.
over the guard.
My darling Tom rejected me.
Right?
So
I'm
We'll see
invisible.
about
Kaylin's like, perhaps we should check in with our host before we head out. Be rude to not say goodbye.
Yes.
If there's food, get some for the road. I say out of
Yeah.
the air.
So what's everybody doing?
We go see about breakfast.
Trying to scrounge some breakfast.
Yeah.
So Kalen would go out and I would imagine ask where they might find Thurl. Someone would mention he's probably up on the pinnacle. That's where he spends most of his time.
Mhm.
The pinnacle.
Does anyone want to go to the top?
To get a pickle?
The pickle.
I'm gonna go see where breakfast is and go there first.
Yeah, if Kalen's going up, I'll follow up. Invisible.
He would probably be just going up to be polite.
Food starts disappearing and going into an invisible bag.
So you go up to the next level. You open the great hall door. There's sort of a kind of a buffet style, like just people just sitting and eating at the table. They seem to be they kind of look up and then go right back to what they're doing. So a few of them that recognize you from the night before kind of like sort of raise their glass or nod in your direction and smile. Kaylin suggests perhaps you could stop and grab something on the way down.
Okay.
So I guess he would probably go up to the top and just tell Thurl that you have decided to take your leave and you will what do you want him to say? Consider looking into this
Yeah, if we
Sacred
have
Stone
time and are in
Monastery?
the area.
What? Swing by the Sacred Stone Monastery?
Yeah.
Um,
He says, we'll look into the Sacred Stone Monastery as soon as we're able to take ourselves that direction. Thank you for the warning, and thank you for your hospitality.
Yes.
okay.
So, Thurl would basically say thank you and congratulate you again on a fine hunt. He says, says you're free to take your leave and please return at any time as honored guests.
All right.
He suggests, having him something to eat before you leave.
Yes.
I give a slight bow.
So, does anyone want to accomplish anything while you guys are in here? Or do you want to just head out?
Matthias is just looking to head out.
Yeah.
Farron or
I'm
Kyra?
at Farron. I'm at Farron's mercy at the moment. Can't do much as a house spider.
Yeah, I think we just get the food and head out.
Okay.
Maybe get some extra, put it in the back holding.
Yeah, they can't even see you.
I know.
You're like,
All right, so you guys decide to quickly just
Good manners.
grab a few things from the table. Some of them kind of like some of the knights are like, "Oh, not going to join us for the meal," and sorry to see you leave, but good luck on your journeys or whatever like this. That just being kind of polite and friendly.
friendly cultists.
Well, I mean they.
No one say the D word until we're a mile away from this place.
Hey, I'm a spider. I can't. You have to hear me.
You're not cultist.
They don't even call themselves a cult, which, I guess cultists do.
So
You're
nobody
just
really
passionate about
stops
stuff.
you if you try to leave, and you guys can head out. Out. You collect Roxy, and they
Yep.
lower the bridge
Oh,
for you,
definitely.
and you can walk right across without trouble. What would you guys like to do?
Matthias votes are going back to Agick.
Do you let them know about all this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we can head out to the place you wanted to go.
That would be fantastic, actually.
Hey.
I
Um,
stay
it.
I stay a spider for the time being.
yeah, probably good if you don't bamf back to yourself within easy sight of the tower.
Other side of the bridge. Ah, so glad I'm not a spider anymore. Look at all the stuff we stole.
You what?
Oh crap! Sorry, back into a spider.
It was just your illusion. Your mind is playing tricks on you.
Still tired.
Okay.
Yeah. We'll start heading back to the city.
All right.
Yeah, we've got information they need to know.
Yep.
So, let me make a check here. Whoops, dang, too far. Try to zoom the map correctly. There we go. All right, so
When we get far enough away, you talk to Gikrad. See, this is what you think about when you're not supposed to judge people before you meet them. You can have a conversation about that.
do you
It's just a cult.
They were nice cult members.
did you intend to try to find the veil that he talked about, where the monastery is?
I think, didn't Matthias and Torm say something about going and doing Matthias's thing?
I mean,
I'm only asking because
We-
essentially
we
it's on
could
the
tell
way
them-
back.
since it's on the way, we could at least warn them.
Warn the Black Earth cult?
No, it's not the Black Earth cult. I thought this is this monks or something, right?
Yeah, that is well, I don't know. We don't know.
The ones that thought that did what we did.
Well, it's called the Sacred Stone Monastery, right?
Right.
And supposedly they're evil according to some other evil people.
Right.
It could be good. It could be good. It could be good if these people are bad.
We know there's
I
a
don't
Black Earth cult.
And
Yeah.
according to the
They
letter,
may
they're
be the
keeping a
same
close
people.
watch on it.
Um,
And obviously their enemy is there because they're keeping a close watch on it, and it says I want to know what our enemy is planning next.
Yeah.
So,
if we're gonna pass by the place,
He gave you
there's
the
no harm in taking.
he gave you the idea that it's about 10 or 20, well, like 25-ish miles from where you're at.
I mean, if it's on the way, there's probably no harm in getting a look. I would rather not go in.
Yeah.
hey, Kyra, that thing that you can do, that'd be perfect for now. That eye thing, we get close, send your eye in.
What, Arcane Eye?
I gotta stay within a certain, and I can't. Okay, so how far away are we from this air cult place? Just are we sufficient amount of miles away before we have this conversation?
Oh yeah, I'm assuming we're probably out of eye shot, so that's why we're in uninvisible and not spiders anymore.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would still be one and if we're not. So if that's the case, and I'm no longer a spider, then I will say something along the lines of, I have to stay pretty close to this thing, and it's I have to kind of concentrate on there, so I can't turn myself into anything, in order to get a good look, unless Farron, you want to turn me invisible. Then I
I
could.
can. Well, if he said it's about 25 miles, it's about a day hike from here. So we'll get there maybe around night. What do
And
you
if
guys
you're not
reckon?
on like
If it's
some
on the way-
crazy
if it's
cliff
on the way-
again.
If it's on the way, I'm not opposed to at least checking it out. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm assuming. Did Tom tell us what Sabra said?
Yeah.
All right, so it'd be like, I'm assuming, like, she said that they're allied with Agick, and if we're taking them at their word, then this Black Earth cult is enemy of Agick.
Yeah.
I mean,
What-
it won't
what
hurt to
made-
look at it. If we look at it, we can at least get an educated opinion about whether, if we think these guys are enemies of Agick, Maybe they're
Torm,
the-
do you think that
Oh, I'm
that she's
operating
telling
that.
the truth about the being with Agick, and like as if they're like sanctioned by Agick or something? Is that?
I mean, it could be the fact that all the other elementals get corrupted.
We haven't seen any air elementals yet. Just
No, they even said they weren't able to like use them yet. Is kind of what it sounded like she said.
Well, yeah, we saw fire and water.
so we can assume that if there's cults around and this one's an air and there's a rock one, we can probably maybe assume that there's a fire and a water one, and that they have attacked Agick.
We've been gone for a bit, so who knows? Like something
Maybe.
could have attacked them while we were gone.
I say we swing by and have a look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to spend. Matthias doesn't want to spend too much time on it, though. It's sort of just a quick look see as we pass by.
Well, I would rather have at least something other than just a name and a location for Agick. Maybe if we head there and we find, oh, hang on a minute, it's not worth it, don't worry about it. Or, yes, you need to be sending like an army there.
All right, we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely can, look with this eye. I can look around.
Cool. Well, yeah, we'll start heading out.
All right, let's make our way.
Okay. Alrighty. So, which way would you like to go? You can go back around to the north of the Sighing Valley and then south. You can travel along the western edge of the valley, or you can try to cut down and across through the valley. Now that during the daytime, you have actually a really good view through the valley. There is a river that runs through it. You guess that it's got to be a good mile or two from north to south, probably closer to 2 miles from north to south. Looks to be about let's call it like half a mile across. There's a lot of rocks in the like different little rock formations and such. The river kind of snakes through it. It seems to come out of some kind of a gully or gorge on the northeastern side. And Matthias, you would probably estimate that the telescope might have been pointing somewhere in that vicinity where this kind of river seems to come out of and then head through this valley. There is a really interesting looking plateau in the middle of the valley where the river cuts right through the middle of it. And You see all kinds of other looks like there might be some caves along the cliffs and such. There's
I'd rather not spend a lot of time there since Thurl was looking at that place quite a bit. I don't want to draw. I think if we leave their place and immediately head over to where he was looking out at, it would be suspicious.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that's where he asked us to go.
I thought the Sacred Stone Monastery was in another valley entirely.
Yes, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that the telescope's trained on this place. Like I said, if we immediately leave the Feathergale Spire and go to this place, Thurl's going to wonder what the hell is going on, and I don't want that kind of attention from him. You know, he already caught us in one lie.
But did he?
Not really.
Ooh.
Okay, so which way do you guys want to head? So across the valley, around it to the north and west, or north and east, which would put you on the track for what he was looking at, or you could go down to the due south from where you
Can I do like a survival or something to see which would be the best route to take?
Which is the easiest? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, Matthias would vote for whichever one would be the most likely for a group of travelers to go. Like, you know, what is the normal
Yikes.
route that the travelers passing through this area would take? No cutting through the old forest kind of shit.
I didn't roll so great. Rolled a
So
10.
it's not bad.
Quickest, easiest route is probably to go south and then east.
And then east the way of where they wanted us to go anyways? That direction?
Yeah. That's correct.
The best way to go is south and east.
Might as well. I'm fine with that.
And Farron, you said it's going to take us about a day, you said?
Well, I mean, if you were right with the whole, looks like it's about 25 miles. It's about a day.
I cast and get us some lovely war horses so we can gallop in style. And if we need to go run over somebody, we can just use the war horses.
So the hills,
what I do.
the hills that you're in that surround you guys are they're filled with the scrublands. It's almost like you would describe it as badlands. It's pretty windswept. You think that might be one of the reasons that these Feathergale Knights were drawn here. Especially the valley you were in, you could tell there were some pretty good gusts and flows of wind through that valley. There was that weird kind of howling sound you heard that when the wind was traveling through the valley. There are some dry grasses covering these kind of badland areas you're in right now. They eventually lead over to this I haven't named it, but the cliff face that you found the Caves of Guidance in.
The salty cliffs.
Maybe they're the Cliffs of Guidance.
Cliffs of Insanity.
Yeah, that's right. So the
It's called Inconceivable.
I'm gonna see if this works.
Inconceivable Cliffs?
Yep.
I think that was
Cliffs of
right.
Inconceivable.
Okay.
The Cliffs of
I conjure 4 of them, and I hop on one.
4 horses.
Yep. I say, Torm, somebody's gonna have to hop on
You can make 8 of them.
Roxy with you. Not the war horses.
Can't you?
Nope.
Okay.
I got
Some
war
bits.
horses.
Get some bits. Put some bits
Just in case we have to go trample some people while we're riding.
Why not?
Would you mind carrying another dwarf behind you, Torm?
Thank you.
So,
So yeah, Gikrot could probably ride on the boar ride on Roxy with Torm if that's okay with Torm.
yep, that's what I was asking.
Sure, I guess. Don't fall off.
And so I make us some horses so we can get there a little bit faster.
All right. So you spend the day. I gotta make some rolls. You spend the day heading in that direction. You head south past the lower end of the valley. Somebody give me a perception roll. Anyone that cares to look.
Redeems.
I'll do it with disadvantage. Oh, I see nothing. Jeez, that was bad.
Anybody who has it as a skill.
Sadly, I do not.
Yeah. I'm so
That's a-
skilled that I rolled a 9.
Okay. Okay. So, it's gonna take you the better part of the day to get there. Well, wait, you're on horses. The horses travel basically twice as fast as you do. Don't they? Wait, is that right?
Yep.
Sounds right.
You said they're war horses. Let me double check what this is. I can't remember.
War horses have the same speed as normal horses. It's weird. They just have more armor.
Got it.
Yep, 60 feet.
So okay. Super.
Just in case I need them to go trample somebody.
So,
War horses are nice. My druid turned into a war horse and killed like other war horses.
You feel bad about killing your own kind?
Well, I'm a tabaxi druid, so it doesn't really care to me.
okay, so you're able to get there without any difficulty. It takes you a little bit. Somebody give me a survival roll.
That I can
and
do.
In fact, it should probably be. Well, it should probably be somebody that was with Thurl, because they gave him the description.
Then I can't do.
So I would say Matthias is the most likely candidate.
And Matthias rolls a 20.
There you go. So you are pretty easily able to find your way to this valley that he described, and they. Let me see. Too many notes. Too many notes.
2 minutes?
The cliffs of too many notes.
The noted cliff. I like a cliff. Noted.
Let me describe this valley to you. The walls kind of go down, and there's like a layer at the bottom.
Really weird mountain. It just sort of ends.
Yeah. It's kind of steep. It kind of sucks.
And the longer version of the valley gives a bigger, better description.
Crap.
'Cause those are just
It's when water erodes someplace and it just digs down.
It was just the clip notes. It was shortened.
That's not.
Let me grab my dictionary and read you the dictionary definition of a valley. It's like, yeah, we get it, dude. He's all like, "Ah, duh! Like we're in a valley. Just look. It's like
It's a
this
lot
one."
of dice.
Okay,
Not nice.
so
So is that?
go ahead.
Yeah. Those are just D6s. It's like I don't even need that many. I never roll that many. It's like why do I
My
even have
defense
that
dice
many?
bag. I whack
You know?
people with it.
Sorry, was Torm asking a question?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so you find the area where you believe this monastery to be. A trail leads into an ever-narrowing defile between bluffs and of wind-sculpted sandstone. Eventually, again, the hills have all been these like rough, dry patches of grass and scraggy hills and such. Eventually the walls of this defile draw into so closely that you can reach out and touch either side, but then the narrow space opens into a hidden canyon in the heart of the hills. A sprawling monastery with dark, narrow windows and red tile rooftops stands in the middle of the natural amphitheater. This natural amphitheater, ringed by sandstone cliffs all around. Ahead, a weathered flight of stone steps leads up to the closed monastery doors. The plain doors are made of heavy timber with iron studs. A dusty footpath circles the building. So you found your way into this kind of, if it hadn't been described to you how to get here, you probably would never find it. But since you knew where to look, it was pretty easy to find. But now you've kind of come into this, like I said, it's this sort of almost like an amphitheater space with this monastery standing in the middle of it.
Weird.
You don't see anyone around. It's getting late in the day. You gather you probably have, let's say, like another hour or so before, maybe 2 hours at the most before it gets to sunset. This being in this kind of gully or canyon, there's more shadows being cast. There's still enough light to kind of see what's going on, but there's definitely more shadows and such. What do you guys want to do?
Rather not.
Well, we're trying to wait till nighttime, aren't we?
I would rather not camp with an easy sight of this thing.
Nah. I don't trust it.
Can I do a survival to find a good place to be inconspicuous?
Looking for like a hidden campsite, basically. Somewhere
something...
to hide out and camp out.
Yeah, so that they don't just go, oh, look, those guys right there.
Yeah, I would prefer not to be noticed.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, and you can make a regular check. It's getting, to where there's enough shadows and such that you don't need to.
That's actually pretty good.
If I assist her, would she be able to do it with advantage?
Sure.
Oh, then I'll roll again, see if I get even better.
My survival's not bad.
I have a +7.
Yeah, so I've got +4.
All right, so it was 23 total. So yeah, you're able to kind of backtrack a ways and find, again, there's nobody around. As far as you can tell, there's nobody around. So you backtrack a ways and you can find another, kind of like an offshoot into another sort of gully that seems like wouldn't be too much of a risk if there was any rains or anything like that, which you don't expect there to be. And you could probably make out a decent camp without being seen. Probably you could even do a small flyer as long as there wasn't like gobs of smoke from it.
Yeah.
Is there anything that we can... Oh, and I say this talking to Matthias. Hey, did you happen to grab any like extra food, or can we go like see about trying to snag
Let's
a
make a few
hog?
things.
I'm hungry. Snag a hog.
I think we still have some people left.
Can
No
you
hog.
snag a hog? I cover Roxy's ears.
All right, so we're gonna say you guys are gonna spend the night here in the valley, then, or in this little campsite, whatever.
Sure.
Yeah, and sometime during the night, we're gonna kind of try to stealthy take a quick look-see.
All
Try
right.
not to get killed in the process.
Yeah, Matthias isn't too focused on this. His mind is elsewhere.
Definitely. It certainly doesn't hurt to at least look around. That's Kaylin's suggestion. Do a little reconnaissance, and if nothing else. So who wants to do what?
We'll definitely put Roxy in sentry mode
Okay.
after setup, and then I'm gonna go to sleep.
I'm gonna talk to Farron about his idea of trying to get some intel on this place before we go to Agick or wherever else we're trying to get to.
Did you get that message, Barry?
Yeah. Sorry, that's what I was looking something up, and then I forgot what I was looking up, so I apologize.
That's cool. I was just saying I would have done that while we were traveling.
Yeah, no sweat. You could have gotten the information for that either through your own devices or just having Torm do an identify. Potion of Heroism, Scroll of Beast Bond, and a Scroll of Skywrite.
Cool. Alright, I'll check them.
So 2 scrolls and a potion.
Write them into.
Use a skyrite. We're over here. Don't kill us.
Here you go.
There you go.
The sky
I'll
says
rap
you
about it
suck.
after that. So, Farron, how are we going to do this? Matthias is right. We don't need to be trying to get ourselves caught. So, what are we going to do?
Oh, I don't want to get caught either.
But I have
I
10 minutes to look around with this thing.
How far can it go?
Good question. I'll tell you in a second. Arcane Eye. Doop-a-doop-a-doop-a-doo. Range is 30 feet. It's invisible, which makes it nice. 30 feet in any direction. So I need to walk around with it and have it move. And it can
have it go away from you before
30 feet.
I think you can move it 30
No.
feet a turn.
30
Yeah,
feet.
it can go. Just wait a minute.
You can go a lot farther than that total, but I think it's 30 feet per round that it's up.
It doesn't. Just says it can move 30 feet in any direction. Doesn't really say that there's a far. Oh, it does. It says no limit. So maybe I
Yeah.
can, but I don't want to be too
there's-
far away because it's only 10 minutes. I don't have the
It's an
hour.
hour. Oh, you
No,
can.
yeah, I got it. So I need to be kind of close because I don't need to take 10 minutes. It finally gets there, and then like I've seen nothing. So I need to get at least a little close.
You could easily get back to the mouth of that kind of narrow passageway pretty easily, you think, without it taking long or without much chance of, unless there's
Easy.
somebody there now. But you didn't see it, and when you came in, you didn't see any kind of guards or anything or anyone stationed around anywhere. And same thing at the monastery. I'm assuming I figure you probably would have hung out there for 5-10 minutes at least. You didn't see anyone walking around or anything like that. Seemed to be no movement.
All right. Well,
Because if that's the case, then I just want somebody with me just in case something happens.
Kaylin would gladly escort the lady.
I'm sure you would.
with that, I touch Kyra on the shoulder, and we both disappear.
Oh, we're gone.
Well, that was
And I
rude.
go, sorry, Kaylin.
I'm glad he did well, that was nice.
I can still hear you.
Kaylin does this. I think Kaylin can do the same. Let me double check something.
Oh yeah, he has that on his loot.
Right, that's what I'm thinking, if I remember right. Just gotta
Think
double
so.
check. I think they
Like,
all.
sorry,
Yeah,
buddy.
he does this. He says, yeah. In fact, he would say, "Well, 3 can play at that game," and he turns invisible as well.
Hey,
So
more the merrier.
that's true.
That's
I mean,
good.
you never know what happens. So it's better that we have 3 people. Anyways, so we're going the direction that you had said, Gregory, since you said that we were thinking that that would be a good place. Stealth, I say that audibly. Stealth before we go.
Oh, naturally.
For certain.
Yeah, have fun with that.
All right, so give me stealth checks.
All right.
Oh,
Oh, not
Yeah.
bad. I rolled an 18. So, 20.
I did too. How about that? But mine is a 20.
Yeah. Like a 50,000, right? 50,020, right?
27.
All right, so you sneak back to the area pretty easily. Yeah, you don't. You're quite quiet. Kalen keeps up to the 2 of you as best he can, since all 3 of you are invisible. You kind of have to use sound to track each other functionally, and you position yourself basically out of sight if anyone came out of the front doors, and popped your little arcane eye out. I'm assuming you would like to have it go wander around the
Yes,
skirts of this.
I'd like it to go inside if possible.
Okay.
I know it needs like at least a 1-inch crack. So, like, is it under the door? Is there like
It
an
needs a
inch
1
under
inch.
the
Is it?
door?
Does it literally?
Yeah,
say that?
one. Yeah, it literally says that it can pass through an opening as small as 1 inch in diameter. So I'm thinking maybe under some doors or something, if possible.
Okay. Sorry, I gotta read.
Divination. Tempo's gonna be taking that one. Oh yeah. Hey, I take this one. I get a 3rd back. That's
I'm not liking that. All right. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Let me see. I have to check some distances here and how far. Okay, so it can travel. Okay, so it can travel 30 feet around, right?
It says there's no limit how far away from you that I can move.
No, that I
But-
know, but it can go 30
yeah,
foot for a minute. Okay,
30
so-
feet at a time,
Okay.
yeah, as an action. So I want to be constantly telling it to keep going. So I want to get a really good look on the inside of this place, if possible. And if there is nowhere to get in, then I'll look around the outside. But I'm trying for in.
and dark vision out to 30 feet. And it can look in every direction.
Okay. You want to go around the monastery first, or what is your thought?
No, my
right
first
now you're
one-
looking at. Right now, I'll tell you what you're looking at. You guys can all kind of see this. The front of the monastery appears to be about. It's pretty wide. It's almost 200 feet wide. In fact, probably more than 200 feet wide. But even just the front facade is over 100 feet and close to 200. There are a set of double doors at the front with a 20-foot wide stone stair leading up to it. The walls, Again, the roof is tiled. The walls, the roof is almost 25 feet off the ground. The walls are like kind of crumbly masonry. Not it doesn't seem like it's in very good repair. It's somewhat rough and rumbled. There are windows that are about 10 feet off the ground. They're more like arrow slits than windows. They're narrow, but they're about 10 feet off the ground. So you think you can get the eye in through one of the what do you call it? One of the windows.
Then that's what I'll do, because I only have 10 minutes, so I'm going for inside rather than outside. We can walk around outside and stake that out, but so I want to see what's going on inside. I want to know like layout and how many.
I apologize.
Monks around.
I misspoke. Most of the monastery looks to be okay. It's the eastern end of the building that seems to be a little crumbly. So I'm sorry, the last thing you just said, it went right in one ear and out the other.
Oh no, that's okay. I said since I only have 10 minutes and we're all invisible, we can scout around outside. I want to look inside and I want to see the layout. I want to take good mental notes of the layout and mental notes about approximately how many people we're talking about.
Okay, so that's where we're going to have to pick up next time, because I got to do a bunch more prep. I wasn't ready for going quite this far.
No problem.
Being that we're down 2 characters, it went a lot faster than you can expect, and so we did pretty good, I think. And let me get us out of the recording here.
Just so you know, one thing.
Yep.
While Kyra starts up her arcane eye, I'm gonna sneak off and have a look around the outside.
Okay.
I'm assuming they probably don't even know that I'm gone.
Yeah, probably not.
Because I'm guessing Kaylin would just stay around looking after Kyra as she's concentrating on the arcane eye.
Most likely, yes. That's perfect. All right, so let me say thank you for joining us, and we appreciate you stopping in. We hope you'll check us out next week on Monday or the next video if you're watching on YouTube. I appreciate you being here. Thanks, everybody, for an interesting game. I apologize if it seemed disjointed. Not having 2 players, I had extra stuff to think about the whole time. So anyway, please like, subscribe, and share the video, and as always, I'll see you at a table someday, and keep rolling 20s.